My name is Paul Luna, and you're tuned into F&B Lunacy. I am here with chef. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I am here with an incredible chef, very well known, Anne Quatrano. Hello.
Thank you, Paul. Hello.
You're welcome. And tell us what's been going on with you or one of your restaurants.
I'm going to talk about specifically the Bacchanalia and Star Provisions building because it's our biggest business, right? I mean, I don't know, we do 5 to 6 million in that restaurant. And then we do the casual food during the day, and then we do fine dining at night in the same building, sharing the same kitchen. And we closed it all down in the beginning of March 2020, and we reopened it all mid-May 2020 for to go. And by the end of May, we had enough people that were interested in actually sitting down. It was within the state and city regulations to have a smaller percentage of people dining in. And so we went with it. And honestly, it worked out okay, Paul, for 2020. We saw a decrease in our business for 2019 to 2020 in that building of 39%, which I consider to be reasonable considering we had 2 months of zero income, right? The way that it was hard. I mean, the way that we pivoted is that we started doing things we never did before. You know, I mean, Bacchanalia dinners to go, like, I don't know. We barely would package up leftover food at one point because we felt that it was compromised once it left the building. And now we're serving whole meals at the same price as we do in our dining room to go, with explicit labels and directions on everything, right? From amuse to mignardi, everything packed up to go. And not to mention the effect that this all has had on the environment, right? Because we've always been aware of our environment and our footprint, and now everything that goes out of our door is in some sort of packaging. Whether it's biodegradable or not, it's still adding to the problem. But we pivoted and we did it. And I mean, we have some nights where we do 20 Bacchanalia dinners to go and 50 in the dining room, right? So it's significant. And I like to think that we really did the best we could.
A description of a dish you make at home that is simply embarrassing for you to talk about.
Yeah.
And if not, we'll play a game. If there isn't a dish, then we'll play a game. I'll come up with ingredients, and you match it with whatever you like.
Yeah, I mean, I can play both games with you.
Okay, no, come up with a great...
I mean, I don't know. We have sunk to all-time lows at home feeding ourselves through COVID. I'll say that. Because I used to eat in our restaurants a lot, but now, I mean, I really try to keep our restaurants doing what they're doing because they have their hands full. I find that we eat a lot of meals at home. My husband Clifford pretty much runs the farm now, so he doesn't come in. And one of the things that we have sunk into is, and this is especially comic because I really love to set a table, right? I really love all of the fluff, the linens, the tableware. I mean, I have an incredible excess of all of that as we've been selling it for years. But often we'll eat off of a sheet pan. So whenever we cook, I mean, last night I made some pasta with lobster and I just put the pot of pasta and lobster on the table. And this is a special occasion because it was my 62nd birthday and my sister was there and we all three ate out of one pot of lobster pasta with some oyster mushrooms. It was delicious. But anyhow, so things that I like to eat at home, I like cream of wheat a lot. You know, and I mean, I could eat it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I can play your other game too, but probably cream of wheat is my low. But it's delicious.
Fill in the blanks. Cooking is
love.
What essential ingredients in a kitchen can you not live without?
Salt, butter, good olive oil. I think that you could pretty much do anything with those three things. They're good with cream of wheat. They're good with dry pasta. Yeah, it's nice to have a good Parmesan cheese too in the refrigerator.
What is your management style like?
So, for years, I believed that I had to work harder than anybody else to gain their respect. And I still feel like I have to put in the time. Like, I don't expect anybody to work a Sunday if I'm not here on a Sunday. But I think I learned that I don't have to wash all the dishes, right? But I feel like it's important to be both generous and honest. If you ask somebody to do something, you should have a very good reason why, if they question it, which I think is important. You know, if you see somebody doing something wrong in the kitchen, you can't just say, don't do that. You say, don't do that because, right? Because if you slice the onion that way, you're not exposing enough of the, you know, I mean, that's, I think, what has been the most important lesson I could give. Many of my employees, because I have so many that have been with me for, I mean, one guy's been in my kitchen for 35 years. Then he came with me from New York and he's still with me. And then I have my sister who's been with me. So Bacchanalia is turning 30 in 1 year. So we're 29, right? And she'll say things to me like, you are so soft now. like I don't. I think there was years that, you know, I was forceful, let's say. But when in retrospect, I think it's mostly, and I see this in other people in other kitchens, most of the time when you're most aggressive is because you're scared. You know, and there were so many years that I was scared. I wasn't going to make payroll. I was scared. You know, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of financial insecurity in running restaurants. You know, it's like a week to week situation, sometimes day to day. And it's hard. And I think that's like that financial draw has always been really scary to me. I mean, I feel responsible. If I give somebody a job, I feel responsible to pay them and have them make a living with us, right? I mean, that's part of what we do. So, yeah, I think that now, I still think that I try to work harder than most people do. But I'm generous with them and I want them to feel comfortable telling me, you know, this is not working. Let's change this. I want to be open to that. I want to be open to, I want to learn and I want to move forward and change if we have to. This has been a great lesson. COVID's been a great lesson in changing and humility and, you know, so many things. I think that I could have crawled under a rock. I mean, honestly. But I didn't.
Is one of the industry where the art form, if you will, or the collaboration, it's very difficult.
And personal. It's very personal. Yeah. And when I say that food is love, it's not just love, like making tasty food, delicious food, beautiful food is not just expressing yourself, because it is, but you have to love doing it or you shouldn't be doing it because it's hard, right? I mean, you have to have a love for what you do. And who at 12 years old would know that they would love to be a chef, right? That would be a hard one, I think. I didn't know that at 12. At 12, I knew I really loved boys.
What inspires you to get up, to still have that drive, to
I still love what I do. I still love the restaurant business. I love the teamwork. I love the staff. I love what we create.
Outside of the restaurant, where can we find Chef Quatrano?
We have the farm. We have to do stuff out there. We work out there. And yeah, yeah, that's my life. Restaurant, farm, and then the communities that I support.
Is there such a thing as a trend?
There are, but I don't think they're always very important. I think that whatever you do, it should be genuine. It shouldn't be because somebody else did it, right? It's just
The pizza trend.
Huh? Pizza, yeah. Cheese on bread. Oh, yeah. I thought it was crazy that so many people baked bread over COVID because, before COVID, bread was the enemy. Yeah. Like then, bread was the enemy. Like, how can you even imagine that that's a reality? But then all of a sudden, if you baked it yourself in your Le Creuset pot, then it was no longer the enemy.
Chef Quatrano, is there anything you would like to say to us that is important to you? It's important to you where you are at this moment in your life?
Yeah. I would like to say something. So I feel like we talked a little bit about this before offline, but I don't know how exactly to express the importance of independent restaurants, but I would like to just say on the record that I feel like they are the basis of any community. I saw, and I think you saw, when we opened a restaurant on the west side of Atlanta that was really underdeveloped and a little scary. Frankly, when we opened Bacchanalia in '99, we saw a community develop around us. And I don't think that was because of me. I think it was because good restaurants went in, a group of people came in, and now there's an entire West Side community as a result of it. If we let independent restaurants cease to exist, we're going to lose that community, which is really, I think, the greatest part of independent capitalism, if you might say, or where we live and what we do. It's where people meet and where they congregate and where they celebrate. And I will do whatever I can to support the restaurants in our community here. I would like small restaurants to succeed and thrive through this and come out even stronger with a stronger identity than before. However that's going to happen, I'm committed to it. It's the consumer support that's going to make the difference here, right? It seems like there's less independent thinkers in the world than there used to be, right? I think that the both of us are independent. I think that you cannot be, you must be an independent thinker to venture out and open a restaurant, right? There's a lot of things involved in that, if you were a rational independent thinker, you would really decide against it. But I value independent thinkers. It's what makes my world go round. It makes my world the most interesting. Mm-hmm. And I do fear that there's a lack of independent thinking.
Chef Quatrano, do you consider yourself a lunatic?
I consider you a lunatic. I don't know if I'm a lunatic, but I'm sure that people have thought at times that I'm crazy. So I don't know if I would be considered a lunatic anymore, but I probably had a time that I would have considered myself that. And certainly many people that are still doing what we're doing are lunatics, are in that category.